Hello and welcome to SwitchedOn, Paul speaking, and another hot day here in the UK, and this is a new game we're looking at today. This is Faeria, and this comes from Versus Evil, and is out on Thursday the 13th of August. This is a sort of collectible card fantasy battling game, a little bit like Hearthstone. So we're just going to have a little look around it, show you how it sort of plays and what some of the options are, and then we'll get into a bit of a game. So first, the options is just wanted to show you this as cross-platform play. Now, I've had this game a week or so. Thanks to the publishers for sending the code over. I've been able to play online against what I can only assume is PC players, but Switch players as well. So there is cross-play, which is really cool. I think there's cross-progression as well. We've got daily quests, which is usual for this sort of thing, and you can re-roll these quests if you want something else, but every day you get new things here. So those here get played 10 green cards, done 8 of those, deal 30 damage to gods, play 10 yellow cards. So again, you can re-roll those every day. You'll get something new today, which is really cool. Collect gold. This game has got in-app purchases. We'll have a look at some of those in a second. The options are down the side here, but the shop isn't open yet. I don't know how much these packs are going to be, but you do collect sort of gold in the game. 687 gold at the moment. This is the internal shop, so you can use your gold that you've collected to buy different cosmetic items like card backs, different sets of cards, different avatars, all that usual kind of stuff here. There's these orbs and whales, you'll see those in the game shortly, but you can use the currency that you get to buy those. As I say, there is actual monetary purchases that you can make from the eShop when the game goes live tomorrow. And then, like any collectible card game, you've got your deck building. And this was always something I struggled with Hearthstone, so I tend to go a lot with the default decks. But if you're into deck building and want to sort of change your deck up and get the synergy going, you can do all that from here. There's different flavours of decks as well, a little bit like Magic the Gathering, and again you'll see that influence shortly. But yeah, 4 different colours of decks that you can combine and use. Now let's get onto the game modes. So there's different variety of game modes. You've got this adventure, which is a solo mode, or you can play it in co-op as well, but it's like a story mode, and will basically take you through a lot of the basics of the game, and you unlock new cards and new decks as you work through that. Battle there is just a straight up battle against an AI player or multiplayer game there. There's puzzles here that we have to solve in a certain amount of time, and it's Pandora as a draft mode. So if you like drafts, it's got that as well. So it has got online, but let's just do an AI battle rather than going into the story and spoiling anything. You can choose your deck from here. I've just got the green starter deck at the moment. We're going to go on to practice to fight against the AI, and I'll show you what this game's all about. So as I mentioned at the top, it's a little bit like Hearthstone, and the fact that you're playing cards out from your hand that are randomly shuffled and dealt into your hand, and you're playing them out onto the battlefield to lower the health of the other players' creatures that they're putting out. Now, the excellent twist in this game, which really makes it unique and has given it, a massive edge for me. I'll hold that thought and let you wait for that, because first we get to mulligan any of these cards if we don't like them, but I quite like these. I'll just show you the cards over here, and I will come back to the other point in a second, but the card makeup here, top left hand corner, if you look at the card Farm Boy here, top left hand corner is a blue number 1. That's the cost of Faeria. That's the sort of magic in this game that it costs to play, so that costs 1 to play. Bottom left hand corner is the damage that it can do to other creatures, the sort of yellow flame there, and then the red heart is obviously the health of the card or character. And then if a card has got any abilities on it, like this middle one here, Imperial Guard, that costs 3 Faeria to play and can do 2 damage and take 3 hits. Now this has got a taunt and last words, and all cards, when you hover over them, if you look at the top of that card there, will explain to you what it does. So taunt, adjacent enemies must attack this, and last words, it does the thing when it dies. So basically, the last words of Imperial Guard there is it will gain 2 life for you. As I say, you can mulligan any of these, draw a new card, but I quite like the spread 1, 2, 3. We'll keep those. Now the difference in this game, as I say, it's a little bit like Hearthstone in you're playing these cards out. So far so good, but what you actually have to do is you can't play these cards until you've got something to play them on. This is the battlefield. At the moment it's empty, so we've got no spaces to play these cards on, so we can't do anything yet. So look in the bottom right hand corner, and there is an extensive tutorial that sort of guides you through getting all these abilities. You don't start with all the abilities in the bottom right hand radial wheel. They gradually introduce you over a series of tutorials, but if we hold down ZR here, we can pick from this radial wheel of what lands we want to put out. So this is obviously a forest land, a mountain land, a desert land, and the blue one there is a sea land. You can also, on your turn, instead of putting a land out, you can gain an extra card, which is the icon at the bottom there, the +1, or you can gain an extra Faeria, which is +1 there in the blue orb, or you can put out 2 normal lands. I should have said actually, when you put out the coloured lands, you put out 1 of those on your turn, unless you put out a standard sort of a basic land, I think it's called, and you can put 2 of those out. Just before we do any of that, we've got bottom left hand corner, that's our Faeria, so we get 3 every turn, unless there's any special abilities out there that get us more. And the on the map there you can see there's 4 glowing orbs in the corners. If you can get a character to those, you sort of collect, they're called whales, but you'll collect what's in the whale. So the first thing we need to do is play a card out, play a land out. Now if you look at the cards, underneath where the blue number is, sometimes there'll be a land icon there, or a series of land icons that mean that you can't play that card out until you have that required amount of lands. But at the moment all 3 of my cards don't need any specific lands to be played, so we can just play 2 normal lands, which is what I'm going to do, and choose where to play them here. So let's head towards that well on the right hand side, so play 1 land there, 1 land there, and there you see the cards at the bottom highlighted in sort of a white outline to show that we can play them now because we've got lands to put them on. We can use L and R to cycle through the cards. So let's play this farm boy out. It costs 1 Faeria to play, and we can just put him straight there next to the well. And we've got 2 Faeria left. Now, unlike Hearthstone, you don't have to spend all of your action points or mana or Faeria as it's called in this game. You can carry it over to the next turn, which is a nice little twist, and again gives it a lot of strategy. Do you want to save that to the next turn, or do you want to spend it out now? I think I will save mine for the next turn. So hold down ZR, pass the turn to the AI at the top of the screen, and they put out 2 basic lands as well. They put in an Explorer, which creates a prairie and gains them 2 Faeria, so that's a nice card. So allowed them to put an extra land out. And they're going to play a second card, the Village Elder. So the hand gets redrawn up to 3, and you can see we've drawn the Ancient Boar. And you can see that if we bring the zoom the card in, it costs 5 points, 5 Faeria to play. We need 1 forest land, 2 lands of any other colour. And so it's quite an expensive card, and you can see its action there is a dash. So when summoned, can move this creature up to 2 spaces in a straight line, which is a big thing if you play Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. When you first put a creature out, you get what's called summoning sickness, so you can't use that card necessarily on that turn that you put it out, unless it's got a keyword like this one here that's got dash, which means I can move it as soon as I put it out. And you can see there it does 4 damage and can take 5 hits, so it's quite a strong card, but obviously it's going to take us a little while to get that out. First we need to collect 5 Faeria, which we've got 6 in the corner, but we haven't got the lands required to play that, so we can't play it yet. So we've got Imperial Guard, Village Elder. Remember, on the right hand side we can get a new card, we can get an extra Faeria if we need it, or we can start to play some coloured lands out. I think what I'll do is I will play a forest land, and you don't necessarily have to head towards the AI player's land here, as long as it connects to the land you've existingly put down. So we'll build a forest land out there, and we can play a card still, and as we're not going to be able to play Ancient Boar for a little while till we get the other lands, I'm not going to worry too much about saving Faeria to play that on the next turn. Now this card's quite a nice card, Village Elder. Draws a card when it dies, so that could be quite handy. But I think I'm going to go with Imperial Guard, which is going to cost me 3 Faeria, and it's got that taunt ability, which means if I can put it adjacent to an enemy's creature, the enemy has to attack that next rather than move in or attacking me or attacking another one of my creatures. Again, I can put Village Elder out. I'm going to save my Faeria and skip my turn. Now these matches do, obviously, you know, I'm explaining things here, but they do tend to go out pretty quickly. 10 minutes max, maybe, absolute max. And they can see here they're making a beeline for my my god there at the bottom of the screen. Should mention the way you win the game, much like Hearthstone, is to take down the opponent's god. You can see the bottom, the one I've got at the bottom there, it's got 20 life. So as soon as that 20 life is removed, it's game over. So I'm going to play straight away. I'm going to play this Steam Forge Enforcer right there. He can do some damage. Now we're going to need to get some creatures across here to try and stop them from attacking me. So let's put out a... Let's put out another forest tile. And let's move our Imperial Guard into this position here to attack the Outland Ranger. And they will both die, but it saves him from being able to attack me on the next turn. If I move the Farm Boy, I could maybe do some damage. What other creatures have I got here? Not really got much other option, but I will use the Farm Boy to attack the Outland Ranger. That will cost me the Farm Boy, but at least it takes a bit of a hit off the enemy's creature. So I pass my turn, and the enemy starts building out at the top of the screen. Never seen them being quite this aggressive, so they've got to me quite quickly. So he's hit me for 3 damage, and my god's health goes down to 17. I'm on the back foot a little bit here. Still can't play the Ancient Boar yet, although if I put even if I put one more land out, I still won't have enough. Well, I will take care of his creature anyway, because we can kill him quite easily. And now we've got some respite for a second. I'm going to play this Prairie Yak. See if we can start pushing up towards them. And with that in mind, I'm going to... Actually, I will play a different sort of land. Pass the turn. We could do drawing another card as well. Where it'd be nice to have a few more options. So we might draw a card now next turn. Now this is a good card, the Seed Sower that we just got here. If we can put him out on the board, he will grow another forest in an adjacent square, and it only costs 1 forest to play, which we've got at the moment, and it can take 6 points of damage, which is quite handy. So I think we're going to play. Him. Oh, we've only got 4 Faeria, haven't we? So we can't play him yet. So we're going to need a different sort of land. Let's put a desert land up there. Let's move the Prairie Yak, start pushing out towards where the enemy is hiding, and let's get the Village Elder out. He can go all the way out there, and he can collect that Faeria from the well on his next turn. Now, as you'd expect of something like this, it's got a blossoming esports scenes, very popular game on PC, and finally makes its way to consoles. I think coming out on the Xbox as well tomorrow, I believe. So we can now play this Ancient Boar because we've got enough lands and we've got enough Faeria. We can also play that Seed Sower and get an extra land for free. The new card we drew here was the Bloom Sprite, which got a Last Words ability, which adds a random green card to a hand, and it costs 3 less to play. As I said, I do think it would be nice to have an extra card, so I'm going to, instead of putting a land out, I'm going to take an extra card, and we've got another Prairie Yak, which is not great. So let's put out this Ancient Boar. It has to go on a Oh, we're not going to get the best of that, are we? Because we're not going to be able to move him, so we're going to kind of negate his ability anyway, because we, you know, he has to go. The creatures have to be summoned onto the tile underneath their Faeria number on the blue there, so he has to be spawned on a forest tile, and his ability to dash 2 spaces would be wasted, because if we put him out here on one of these 2 forest tiles, he's not going to be able to move anywhere, which is a bit of a shame. Unless we can move, we can. Might be a little bit of a waste, but if we can shift these 2 guys back, this is probably terrible strategy, I know that, but just to show how Ancient Ball works, we can now put him here, and now we can move him. Well, I thought we could move him 2 squares. There you go, we've moved him 1 square. So yeah, we've got a little bit of an army going on here. Let's end our turn. Let's see what Shara comes up with. Pretty aggressively building that lands. And he's taken out our Village Elder over the corner, but the Village Elder's ability was to draw an extra card, I believe. So we've got the Tiki Caretaker, which is a gift. It does something when played from your hand, and this one will give a different creature +2/+2, so 2 health and 2 attack ability, which is really handy. Can really buff up some. If you've got a creature that's got quite high stats anyway, you give them a +2/+2, and really make them super powerful. And we've got another Ancient Boar as well, so we've got a nice amount of cards here in our hands to be getting on with. So let's get rid of the enemy's Village Elder here, who's snuck up around the outside. We see there he was, I don't know if you noticed at the top, Shara, he got an extra card there because that's the Village Elder's ability. Let's move the Ancient Boar on towards the enemy. Going to move the Steam Force in full drop on the right flank to try and block any incoming from that side. So let's put some lands out. Let's get some basic lands out and see if we can forge ourselves another path. Give ourselves a bit more in the way of options of getting up to the enemy. And let's play. I like this Tiki Caretaker. Let's play this one and give our Ancient Boar the +2/+2. You see he's got to a 6/7 now. So it was a pretty decent turn overall. We've got 1 Faeria left. We'll end that turn. So I hope you're getting the sort of gist of this game. It's really good. I'm probably not going to play the full game now because it's probably going to make the video go too long, but I think you get the general idea of how it's played. Really good game. Enjoy it a lot. I've sort of fell out of love with Hearthstone after playing it for a fair amount of time, and this has sort of taken the formula of Hearthstone and added so much more to it, and given it a lot more in the way of strategic choices, which is really cool. And the online games I've had have been really good as well, and the story mode seems okay, although as I say, it is kind of a tutorial that kind of teaches you how to play the game and get your cards built up. Let's stick our Bloom Sprite, and here's to go on yeah, we've got no that's quite a good way of building the aggressive tiles. You see there the enemy's tiles, we can't obviously put our creatures on those to spawn them. So that was well played by them. Let's get this Skyland Warrior out. Not going to be able to do much else, I don't think. So leave me a comment below if you like this style of game, if you've played sort of Hearthstone enough and you think you might give this a go. I think we'll take an extra Faeria. And yeah, if you're going to be picking this up tomorrow, I don't think I mentioned the price. I think it's $20 and £18 when it releases tomorrow. It's a really enjoyable game. If you like these collectible card games, there's not many out on the Switch. There's a couple that sort of like that Hearthstone style, but really enjoying this one. The aspect of putting the board out, very much a nice strategic twist, and really enjoying that. And then the way you have to put lands out to sort of play certain cards reminds me of Magic the Gathering when you're playing sort of the different lands out. So a couple of decent elements from really good games there, and they've sort of melded them all together and made a really enjoyable game. So that's Faeria coming to the Nintendo Switch tomorrow. Leave me a comment and a thumbs up below if you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe if you're new. But until then, I will catch you all next time. Thanks everyone. See you later.